Switching gears, General Motors has announced plans to cut its U.S. electric vehicle and battery production due to a weakening demand.
Across America, from Texas to Michigan, from Arizona to Ohio, vast parking lots are filling with brand new pickup trucks that no one is buying. Hundreds of thousands of gleaming Ford F-150S, Chevy Silverados, and Ram 1500S, once the pride of American roads, are now sitting motionless, collecting dust under the sun. Just 2 years ago, people were fighting over these trucks. Waiting lists stretched for months, dealers charged over sticker price, and buyers were happy just to get one. But now, the tide has turned completely. The same dealerships that once demanded $5,000 or $10,000 above MSRP are drowning in inventory, desperate to move metal, offering record-breaking discounts, 0% financing, and even free maintenance just to get someone to sign. It's a perfect storm: overproduction, rising interest rates, and collapsing consumer confidence. Automakers kept their factories running at full speed after the pandemic, convinced that the demand for big, powerful pickups would never end. But then the economy shifted, loans got expensive, gas prices soared, and for the average American, that $70,000 0-cents dream truck suddenly looked like a financial nightmare. Today, more than 500,000 unsold trucks are sitting idle on lots across the country. Some dealers have run out of space entirely, renting empty shopping mall parking lots, abandoned warehouses, even airfields just to store them. Every day those vehicles sit still, dealers lose money on interest payments. Some are bleeding hundreds of dollars per truck per month. The result? For the first time in years, buyers hold the power. If you've ever dreamed of owning a new pickup, this may be your moment. Discounts are unlike anything we've seen since the 2008 crash. Dealers are throwing in free upgrades, lifetime maintenance, and even cash bonuses for switching brands. People who walk in ready to negotiate are walking out with brand new trucks for 20 or even 30% less than they were worth just months ago. Stay tuned, because what's happening isn't just a temporary sale. It's a turning point in America's car culture. The mighty pickup, once untouchable, has fallen, and the people who once couldn't afford one might finally drive away with the deal of a lifetime. The American pickup market is facing one of the most dramatic reversals in its history. What was once a symbol of strength, freedom, and prosperity has suddenly turned into an emblem of excess and miscalculation. Just a year ago, manufacturers could barely keep up with demand. Customers lined up to pay premiums above sticker price, sometimes waiting 6 or even 9 months for their dream truck. But in the summer of 2025, something snapped. The same factories that once ran around the clock are now scaling back production, while tens of thousands of brand new vehicles sit idle under the relentless sun. From the air it looks surreal. Endless rows of unsold Ford F-150S, Ram 1500S, and Chevy Silverados, stretching for miles like metallic graveyards of the modern auto boom. Industry analysts are calling it a pickup glut, a perfect storm of overproduction, economic slowdown, and shifting consumer priorities. The signs were there, but few wanted to believe them. After the pandemic, Americans rushed to buy trucks. Stimulus checks, remote work, and a hunger for independence drove record-breaking sales. Automakers took that as a new normal and ramped up production, confident the boom would last. They hired thousands of workers, reopened shuttered plants, and invested billions into new truck lines. By 2024, the U.S. was producing nearly 1.7 million full-size pickups annually, more than the combined output of sedans and compact cars. But the demand curve had already started to bend downward, quietly and steadily. As interest rates climbed above 8% on auto loans, the average monthly payment for a new pickup soared past $1,000 0 cents. For the average middle-class buyer, that number was simply impossible. Sales began to slow. Leasing companies froze new purchases, corporate fleets delayed replacements. But production didn't stop. The conveyor belts kept moving, filling dealer lots to capacity. By early 2025, more than 500,000 trucks were sitting unsold across the country. In some regions, the situation reached absurd proportions. A dealership in Dallas reportedly rented out an abandoned sports stadium to store over 1,200 unsold trucks. Another in Michigan stacked brand new vehicles in a decommissioned airplane hangar just to free up space for incoming shipments. The irony is painful. Trucks were supposed to be the safest bet in the automotive world. For decades, the Ford F-Series was America's best-selling vehicle year after year. The Silverado and Ram 1500 followed closely behind, forming a trio that seemed untouchable. But the market has changed faster than anyone anticipated. Rising fuel prices made these once essential workhorses expensive to operate. Younger buyers, burdened with student debt and rising rents, shifted toward smaller hybrids or electric crossovers, and for the first time in modern history, the cultural appeal of the pickup began to fade. According to a fictional yet plausible study by the National Vehicle Trends Council, only 42% of millennials now consider a full-size truck a desirable vehicle, compared to 68% a decade ago. Dealers are panicking. Many rely on short-term financing known as floor plan loans to hold their inventory. When sales slow, those loans become crushing. One dealership owner in Oklahoma City confessed anonymously that he's paying nearly $50,000, 0 cents a month, just in interest on unsold inventory. Every day those trucks sit there, he said. I'm bleeding cash. We've never seen anything like it. Even large dealer groups are feeling the strain. Some have started slashing prices below invoice just to generate movement. Others are offering unheard of incentives. Free gas for a year, lifetime oil changes, or buy one get one lease programs that sound more like retail gimmicks than car deals. The public, however, is only beginning to realize what's happening. Most people driving past those dealership lots don't yet grasp that the balance of power has flipped. For the first time in decades, it's the buyer who holds the cards. Trucks that once cost $70,000, 0 cents, are now being advertised for $55,000, 0 cents, and still aren't selling fast enough. Analysts predict that by winter, the average transaction price for a full-size pickup could drop another 10 to 15%, marking the steepest decline since the financial crisis of 2008. The market that once defined American ambition has hit an unexpected wall, and the ripples are spreading through the entire automotive economy. The Federal Reserve's rapid interest rate hikes to combat inflation hit the auto industry harder than anyone expected. By mid-2024, the average loan rate for a new vehicle had jumped from 3.9% to over 8.2%. For a $60,000 0 cents pickup, that difference meant an additional $200 0 cents to $300 0 cents per month in payments, enough to push millions of potential buyers out of the market. Suddenly, the middle class that once fueled the pickup boom was priced out entirely. In places like Texas and Ohio, where truck ownership is practically cultural, dealerships started to see a 30 to 40% drop in foot traffic. Financing departments went quiet. Banks tightened their lending standards, and approval rates for auto loans fell to their lowest level in 15 years. Meanwhile, automakers kept producing. Their internal projections, based on outdated demand models, failed to account for the new economic reality. Executives feared that halting production would send the wrong signal to investors, so they chose to store excess inventory instead. By the start of 2025, tens of thousands of unsold trucks sat on rented lots, empty airfields, and even decommissioned shipping yards. One insider from GM reportedly described the situation as metal mountains of debt. Every truck represented a cost, not just in materials, but in financing, maintenance, and lost opportunity. Fuel prices added another layer to the problem. After a temporary dip in 2023, gasoline climbed again, reaching nearly $5 per gallon in parts of California and the Midwest. Owning a full-size pickup suddenly became a financial burden, not a statement of freedom. Surveys conducted by the fictional American Vehicle Affordability Index found that 62% of potential buyers reconsidered their purchase after calculating monthly fuel costs. Some even returned recently bought trucks, citing affordability issues within the first 6 months. The market for smaller, more efficient SUVs and hybrids grew by nearly 18%, while sales of large pickups fell by more than 20% year over year. Corporate buyers, once a reliable foundation for the industry, also pulled back. Fleet managers at construction and logistics firms postponed upgrades and began buying used models instead of new ones. Leasing companies offloaded thousands of vehicles at auction, flooding the secondary market and driving prices down further. Within a few months, slightly used trucks, often less than a year old, were selling for 15% below the price of new models, making it even harder for dealers to move fresh inventory. Consumer sentiment played its own role. The psychological shift was subtle but powerful. For years, owning a truck symbolized success and independence. Now it began to represent debt and excess. Social media trends mocked oversized pickups as garage trophies, and some cities even proposed higher parking fees for large vehicles, framing them as wasteful and polluting. These cultural undercurrents, though anecdotal, began influencing buying decisions in ways the industry hadn't anticipated. Even the move toward electrification, once seen as a lifeline, backfired in the short term. Electric trucks like the Ford F-150 Lightning and Rivian R1T arrived on the market with fanfare, but their high prices and limited infrastructure kept adoption slow. Many early buyers complained about poor resale value and range anxiety. Dealers who stocked up on electric models quickly found themselves stuck with inventory that moved even slower than traditional gas-powered trucks. All these factors intertwined into a single narrative of decline. Automakers bet on endless demand. Consumers faced shrinking credit and rising costs. Cultural attitudes began to turn. What was once America's most reliable product segment became a symbol of industrial overconfidence. Behind the glossy ads and patriotic slogans, the reality was grim. The pickup truck had hit an economic wall, and the impact was shaking the entire automotive world. The desperation has reshaped dealer behavior in ways few could have imagined a year ago. Store managers who once brushed off hagglers now welcome negotiation with open arms. In Phoenix, one Ford dealer was caught on video practically begging customers to make any offer, saying they'd find a way to make it work. Across the country, dealerships are bending the rules, extending financing terms up to 8 years, offering 0% APR deals, and throwing in perks that sound almost absurd. Free home improvement gift cards, prepaid gas for a year, or lifetime tire replacements. A few dealerships, according to insider reports, are even discreetly selling trucks below cost, hoping to generate enough sales volume to stay afloat long enough for the market to rebalance. Manufacturers are watching with growing unease. They know that every truck sitting idle on a lot weakens their brand and threatens the long-term stability of their dealer networks. Internal memos from a major automaker, leaked to several business outlets, reveal concern that dealer morale and liquidity are approaching critical thresholds. Executives have begun quietly offering rebates to dealerships, essentially paying them to move inventory. Some factory representatives are rumored to be holding weekly meetings where they track dealership losses in real time, providing additional incentives to the worst affected regions. It's a rare reversal of power. For decades, dealers depended on the factories. Now the factories are depending on the dealers to survive. For buyers, this chaos has created an almost surreal landscape. Prices that once seemed untouchable are suddenly up for debate. A truck that listed for $65,000, 0 cents last year, might now sell for $50,000, 0 cents with bonus packages thrown in. Used truck prices, which skyrocketed during the pandemic, have fallen sharply as corporate fleets and rental companies flood the secondary market. Private sellers are feeling the ripple effect too. A 2022 F-150 that fetched $55,000, 0 cents in early 2024 might now struggle to sell for $42,000, 0 cents. Buyers who waited out the frenzy are finally rewarded, but even they seem hesitant. The same inflation and job insecurity that made trucks unaffordable are now making consumers cautious about any big purchase, even when the deal seems irresistible. Those who do take the plunge, however, are finding deals that sound almost fictional. One small construction business in Arizona reportedly bought a fleet of 8 Silverado 2500 HDs at a combined discount of nearly $160,000. 0 cents. Another buyer in Kansas managed to secure a brand new Ram 1500 Limited with 3 years of free maintenance and a 0-interest loan. Stories like these are spreading fast online, turning social media into a marketplace of opportunity. Facebook groups and Reddit threads are filled with users comparing notes, sharing screenshots of their deals, and even crowdsourcing negotiation tactics. The narrative has shifted from frustration to excitement. Buyers now talk about hunting the perfect truck as though it's a competitive sport. But for all the immediate benefits to consumers, the underlying structure of the market remains fragile. The longer this price war continues, the greater the strain on both dealers and manufacturers. Profit margins are evaporating, and the auto lending sector is beginning to show signs of stress. Lenders who finance dealership inventories are tightening terms or refusing to roll over existing credit lines. Some are even repossessing unsold inventory to auction it directly, creating further downward pressure on prices. Analysts warn that if interest rates stay high into 2026, the industry could see the largest wave of dealership bankruptcies since the 980s. In the midst of this turmoil, automakers are beginning to rethink their entire approach. Executives who once mocked the idea of lean inventory are now considering smaller, just-in-time distribution models. Ford has quietly begun pilot programs in several states, where customers can order trucks directly from the factory, bypassing traditional dealerships altogether. General Motors is exploring subscription-based ownership models for its commercial clients, allowing companies to lease trucks by the month instead of buying them outright. Stellantis, the parent company of Ram, is experimenting with hybrid production lines that can switch between light trucks and SUVs depending on demand. None of these strategies will fix the current crisis overnight, but they signal a deeper shift, the realization that the old ways no longer work. Yet amid all this, opportunity remains. Buyers with cash or solid credit have never had more leverage. Small businesses that rely on trucks, landscapers, contractors, delivery companies are taking advantage of the discounts to refresh their fleets at prices not seen in over a decade. Analysts at the fictional American Transport Council estimate that bulk buyers could save up to 25% compared to last year's rates if they negotiate aggressively. Even individuals are striking remarkable deals. Dealers, hungry for any sale, are willing to throw in warranties, upgrades, and financing terms that border on the irrational. It's a buyer's market in the truest sense, chaotic, short-lived, and born out of desperation. For the average American buyer, the situation now unfolding in the pickup market represents something rare, a brief and extraordinary shift of power. For the first time in decades, ordinary consumers, not manufacturers or dealers, are in control. The decision they face is deceptively simple: act now and seize an unprecedented opportunity, or wait for the market to recover and watch the deals disappear. Economists call it a window of imbalance, a short period when all the usual rules break down. It doesn't happen often. When it does, it rewards those who move fast and punishes those who hesitate. Every sign points to that moment being right now. The price reductions we're seeing today are unlikely to last past the spring. Dealers are under mounting pressure from automakers to clear their inventory before new model year trucks arrive. Industry insiders claim that by February 2026, many lots will be forced to slash prices another 5 to 10% simply to make space. But after that, production cuts will pull supply sharply back. Once that happens, the market will stabilize and climb again. It's the classic economic cycle: oversupply followed by scarcity. But few cycles have ever been as extreme as this one. Those who remember the auto collapse of 2008 recall how briefly the deals lasted before prices snapped back. This time, experts predict the rebound could be even faster. For buyers with cash or access to financing, the advantages go beyond lower prices. Dealers, desperate to move units, are open to negotiation on nearly everything: extended warranties, free maintenance, accessories, even trade-in values. In some cases, dealerships are adding perks that sound almost cinematic: free home charging stations for EV models, prepaid gas cards, or 2 years of free insurance. One fictional but plausible example comes from Nevada, where a small business owner reportedly purchased 3 Ford F-150s for $35,000, 0 cents each, nearly $20,000, 0 cents below last year's average price, with a 5-year zero-interest loan and free roadside assistance. Such packages would have been laughed off as fantasy 2 years ago. Today, they're not just possible, Their comment, still not everyone is rushing to the lots. The same uncertainty that created this buyer's paradise also breeds caution. People fear layoffs, higher living costs, and the risk of buying into a falling market. But that hesitation could cost them. By next summer, when production slows and inventories shrink, the balance will tip again. Those waiting for even deeper discounts may discover the trucks they wanted are gone, or that dealers have withdrawn their most aggressive offers. According to the fictional National Auto Market Review, nearly 60% of current incentives are expected to expire before mid-2026, with no comparable offers forecast in the near term. When historians look back on this period, they may not remember the exact discounts or the dealership bankruptcies. What they'll remember is the power shift, a moment when buyers dictated the terms and the mighty truck industry had no choice but to listen. For now, that power still belongs to the consumer. The lots are full, the prices are low, and the window is open. But every day it narrows a little more. Those who act now will drive away with the deal of a generation. Those who wait will be left watching from the curb as the balance of the market quietly resets and the era of extraordinary bargains fades into memory.